In this first lesson, we will explore how the Bill of Rights protects people's freedoms and limits government power. First, we will look at the purpose of the Bill of Rights and why it was added to the Constitution. Then we'll go through each of the 10 amendments in the Bill of Rights, and then we'll explore the role of the courts in interpreting these rights over time. Let's start with the purpose of the Bill of Rights, which helps us understand why these 10 amendments were created in the first place. After the Constitution was written, many people worried that it gave too much power to the national government and didn't clearly protect individual freedoms. To fix this, the first 10 amendments, known as the Bill of Rights, were added in 1791. These amendments were meant to guarantee personal freedoms, called civil liberties, and limit the government's ability to interfere with the lives of citizens. Now let's go through the 10 amendments in the Bill of Rights. Each one protects specific freedoms or limits what the government can do. Okay, let's pause there for a second. You might be realizing already that there are going to be a lot of ideas and concepts you're going to need to remember. That's why I've made the 4-hour Exam Ready Playbook, a study and review guide that you can complete while watching the video. Grab it through the link in the description and practice what you're learning while watching. All in just 4 hours. With this guide, it's never too late to prepare for the exam. Now, let's get back to the lesson. The First Amendment protects the rights to free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, the right to assemble peacefully, and the right to petition the government for changes. The Second Amendment protects the right of individuals to keep and bear arms. The Third Amendment states that the government may not force people to quarter soldiers in their homes during peacetime without their consent. The Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by requiring a warrant supported by probable cause. The Fifth Amendment guarantees that no person shall be forced to testify against themselves, be tried twice for the same crime, or be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The Sixth Amendment ensures the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury, the right to be informed of the charges, to confront witnesses, to obtain witnesses in one's favor, and to have legal counsel. The Seventh Amendment provides the right to a jury trial in civil cases involving disputes over property or money above a certain amount. The Eighth Amendment prohibits excessive bail and fines, as well as cruel and unusual punishment. The Ninth Amendment affirms that the people have rights beyond those specifically listed in the Constitution. The Tenth Amendment states that any powers not given to the federal government by the Constitution are reserved to the states or to the people. You might remember in Unit 1 our discussion of the concepts of enumerated and reserved powers, which explained how some powers belong to the federal government while others belong to the states. The 10th Amendment is the part of the Constitution that clarifies these concepts. Now let's move on to the role of the courts, which helps us see how these rights are protected over time. If someone believes their civil liberties guaranteed under the Bill of Rights are being violated, they can bring their case to the courts. Judges, especially those on the Supreme Court, decide how the Bill of Rights applies in real life. For example, in Tinker versus Des Moines in 1969, the court ruled that students wearing black armbands to protest the Vietnam War were protected by the First Amendment's right to free speech. In Texas versus Johnson in 1989, the court decided that burning the American flag is a form of free expression protected by the Bill of Rights, even if many people find it offensive. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson on the Bill of Rights and how it protects civil liberties. On the screen now are the key terms from this lesson. If you're following along with the study guide and FRQ Mastery Playbook, check your answers for this section using the answer key before moving on. This free response practice task is a Supreme Court comparison. These ones are tough, so I recommend watching the required Supreme Court cases video on this channel to help learn how to answer this type of exam question.